Well, hello, brothers and sisters. I can see that I'm finally live on Facebook. And I would like to welcome you to my presentation, which I have been trying to get to for a while. Who am I? Well, I am Larry Ukali Johnson Red. You may have seen my posts on the net, and you may not have. But I want you to deal with me and my ideas, and just open your mind, open your heart, and let us discuss the things that we need to discuss about the destiny of African Americans and how we feared and how we fared in the Obama era, as well as where do we go from here. Now, I originally graduated from the University of San Francisco when I was just a young man in my early 20s. I went ahead and got my master's degree at Golden Gate University. And from Golden Gate University, there was a long work experience before I finally went back to school in my early 50s and got my second master's degree. So I have a BA in government, and I taught in Nigeria for 4 years in Benin City. And hello to all my students, ex-students. Shout out to you. Shout out to all my friends. Shout out to all the progressive people in the world who think the world should be free. And also shout out to all the well-meaning people who want justice in this country. So with all of that, I say that, San Francisco State University was where I got my first black graduation, class of 2004. That was a master's, which included my administrative credential. So I have got myself very well educated, and I've been writing books over the last 30 years, but I haven't gone down to New York to throw a rock through the window of all those big publishers, because even though they ignored me, I figured that if I kept going, that would be a better situation for me. In fact, what happened was once I talked with Alex Haley, it was probably 2 weeks before he got sued and his lawyers closed him down, but he had told me he was going to give me an endorsement for my book, and he apologized for the publishers. This was before he passed. He says, but you're not in their club, you're not of their ilk. And so if you quit, you'll never get in their ilk. You'll never be published. He said, but if you keep going, maybe one day. And that was what kept him going. That's what's been keeping me going for a while. So again, my name is Larry Ukali Johnson Red. I have all my ebooks on sale at Amazon.com. I have, again, the book Loving Black Women, and that's a real book, for real book. I also have a book called Long Distance Love, about a failed love affair to this Nigerian sister. So, I got a variety of books. Again, they're all at my author's page on Amazon.com Kindle. They're all ebooks at this point. I have about 150 copies of Journey to the Motherland, which you can see at any of the on my Facebook page or Twitter, where I'm known as Ukali the African. Oh, that's my username. But also LinkedIn, as well as many other platforms. So I'm here. Today is about the 16th. By no means are the kind of man that deals with Valentine's, because that's another culture. But I will deal with black romance. And that's how I'm going to start out my presentation, because we need more of it, in our community. Black romance. Get ready. Okay. Black romance for African Americans and Africans. Black romance, nothing to do with Romans. Black romance for strong black kings. Black romance for beautiful black queens. Black romance, may it never, ever die. Black romance, don't make a sister or brother cry. Black romance, don't let it rust. Black romance, always between us. Black romance, fly a black dove. Black romance, full of beautiful love. Black romance, never bought a soul. From a heart, a very soul. Black romance, oh so tenderly. Black romance, sweet as it could be. Black romance, with every tender touch. Black romance, it means so much. Black romance, in our community. Black romance, keep it sweet as it can be. Black romance, respect should be. Black romance, the only way for we. Black romance, one-on-one. Black romance, may the joy come. Black on black romance, may we advance. Black romance, love and happiness. Well, that's a poem about love to start it off. Of course, if you want to see that poem, you can look in my book called American Challenges in the Obama Era Part 2. My book Journey to the Motherland is there, about an ultimate romance, my first marriage to a Nigerian sister, where we traveled to Nigeria. Oh, I guess I could give you a shout out, Chinwe, but may you rest in peace, my love. So, yeah, I am, going to tell you about Journey to the Motherland first, because Journey to the Motherland is the only book I have with the after story. And now, if you look at my book at Amazon.com, Kindle, on my author's page, you'll see Journey to the Motherland is now been priced at $3.99. Well, that was after the extension. What do you mean extension? Well, with ebooks, they're unique in that you can add more to it, okay? So you can add more to ebooks. And I had an opportunity to add more to my ebook, Journey to the Motherland from San Francisco to Benin City. And what happened is that my students found me on Facebook. My students I taught 35 to 39 years ago in Nigeria. Because me and my late wife, we had to leave at the time we left, and we really didn't have a chance to say goodbye. So we left, and of course, the students always wondered what happened to their teacher, who was a young cat, 25 to 29, cool cat, but a very effective teacher. And so they invited me to London. And of course, they paid my hotel in advance and my flight. So I was really happy to see that students I had taught so long ago still remembered the passion with which I taught, and even to some extent the styles, but they liked the picture and they liked what they got in the sense of my explanations of government in the Nigerian sense, because we were talking about the 1979 Constitution in Nigeria, but also on the general principles of government, which I learned very well at USF and also at Golden Gate University, in which I was only too happy to share. And the fruit of that is that they brought me over to London in 2015, congratulated me, gave me all the respect in the world, and were so proud to tell me what they were doing. Because many of my students were doctors and lawyers and healthcare workers and all professions basically, but some really, really made it. And we always had very interesting discussions about the principles of government in my classroom in Nigeria 35 to 39 years ago. And so we finally got a chance to celebrate all those great times. And in many ways, the convention they had was almost like a government class, reminded me of the principles of government, because with many lawyers, of course, there were different positions and there were compromises. There was an effort to keep the discussion very, very up level. And they had different opinions, but they were able to mesh their opinions and even agree on a new constitution and reform their present constitution. And so I continue to extend greetings to all of my students at Edegosa Grammar School. I hope if you're in Benin City, you can still hear this because this is all over the world. And I also extend my respect to my late wife who helped me to decide to come and live in Benin City. And of course, again, that whole story and extended story is told in my new ebook, Journey to the Motherland, from San Francisco to Benin City at Amazon.com for $3.99 for a 60-second download to your media, your computer, your Kindle, your iPad, or whatever. Okay, so I've told you something about my books, my background. Like today, I really want to focus on the Obama books, Journey to the Motherland from San Francisco to Benin City. So what I would like to do is read to you a summary of the newest book, Journey to the Motherland, the newest book, Summary of American Challenges in the Obama Era. This book is an analysis of the Obama era in the second term, looking generally at the second term of President Obama's time in the White House. The themes in this book evaluate human rights of African Americans and others of the new majority. The book defines the new majority, and this book further defines the strategic national black consensus. Now, this further defines the strategic national black consensus proposal for African American political, social, economic unity through the proposed National Black Trust outlined in Part 1 as a way to survive the post-Obama white supremacy era led by Donald Trump and other conservative racist whites, combined with continued American police trauma, police terror. This book series, when read as Part 1 and 2, provides analysis of the first 8 years of the Obama era and the Obama presidency, as well as an analysis of the human rights versus, of the human rights situation in this country. So you could look on my profile page and get the rest of this. But in addition, Part 2 of this book is full of positive spoken word style poetry and progressive essays, as well as commentary of the author that you can compare with your views for a better overall communication of ideas about justice, freedom, liberation, and equality for all in America and the world. This book also offers an analysis of the 2016 presidential election. So you can see there are very many issues covered in this book. And one of the first things, because it is a book of commentary and spoken word, one of the first things I'm going to do is read this Obama administration 2013 poem to you. Many are proud, many don't care. Conditions on the ground are still not fair. Racial profiling, saying some progress. Is white America really trying its best? While stock markets are subsidized by the Obama administration, people still face massive unemployment. Tea Party people have Cadillac health care while fighting implementation of affordable health care. African American males' unemployment rate more than double white unemployment rate. Let the poor eat cake. Is this progress or fake? Very good question in 2013. The old economy, unemployed in the new economy. Is this progress? Does it pass the smell test? Is the same old mess, or is this progress? So there we go with the first piece, analyzing the Obama administration in about mid-stride, 2013. But, one of the things is that we had so many issues come up during the Obama era where we really needed a brother on the front lines, like in Ferguson. And probably he did more in Ferguson than he did in other places because the recorded police violence was just all over the country. And it just yearns out for a national um, law, a national legislation against police brutality, which has been happening to every group in America, but mostly in terms of the experience of the African Americans. We have been the primary victims of this massive violation of our human rights. So this is what was a big part of the Obama era, and it's a perplexing problem that we still have to deal with, because it doesn't matter what region you're in, whether you're in the north, south, east, or west, whether you're a Geechee or whether you're a LA brother or whether you're a New York brother or somewhere in the middle, we still seem to have this problem with police brutality. And so here's another piece I have called, that's in part 2, and it's called End, Stop, and Frisk. And of course, the courts finally ended it after almost 90% of the stops were innocent black and brown males. And now we have to wonder where those kind of efforts are going to go under this new administration. But it really can't get any worse because it's already bad with all of the video shootings and shootings on Facebook and just all of the 500 years of violence that African Americans have faced. And this is what my books chronicle. There was a lot of hope at the beginning of the Obama administration, which was covered in part 1. And that hope was for us to finally assume and practice and be respected with all of our human rights, ending discrimination, ending all of these different forms of white oppression under white supremacy that African Americans have faced and survived during 400 years. And so End, Stop, and Frisk. And the brothers and sisters on the East Coast know what it is about stop and frisk because they felt it the most, especially in New York City. But to an extent, like some of the brothers in the West Coast say, it's been stop and frisk out here all along. And so it's good that we have these regional talks so that we can put our issues together and think about what type of national solutions we can come up with in national coordination. End, Stop, and Frisk. End, Stop, and Frisk. We have a right to exist. America does not need racial profiling like this. The practice, by any name, internationally, it is a shame. We know racism is to blame. It's a racist, undemocratic, dirty game. From stop and frisk, racist police brutality in the midst, all across America, please stop black and brown men harassed by the cop. It is a democratic mess. It is a racist tactic full of ugliness. White criminals go free. White police concentrate on you and me. End, stop, and frisk. The racist enforcement mentality. This is more than a racist flaw in this racist law. And so that piece, again, is a part of part 2, American Challenges in the Obama Era. And the reason I titled it American Challenges in the Obama Era, because it has challenges for everyone. When we talk about strategic national black consensus, not only is there a need for this kind of consensus in the black community and in the black nation as a whole, but this is also needed, within the various other new majority communities. And what do I mean by new majority? New majority is the immigrants from all continents, black African Americans, Latino Americans, Asian Americans, Native Americans, all of the great non-white people that are put out in America, all over America, who will be a majority by 2045. This group, the new majority, needs leadership. But before the leadership can emerge, each of those constituent groups in the new majority, including progressive whites, need to have their own strategic national consensus so that when we all come up after our consensus, we can put it together and see if there are things that the progressives can work on that won't make African Americans cannon fodder, that we all share the burden and the battle. That's the situation. So this new majority then probably lost this last election because we were not really united behind a certain candidate. Although some people looking back now have buyer's remorse, particularly with those supporters of the current administration, and also other people wondering now whether we should have done something more like put Barry White in. Not Barry White, but Bernie Sanders, excuse me, not Barry White. So, but who knows, maybe he could have defeated Trump, maybe not. But we do know that there needs to be political realignment and refocusing going on, especially by African Americans, because not only have our civil rights been discarded and overlooked in all this police violence and all of the racism that we still see in America from coast to coast and from shore to shore, but we also have a situation that our human rights are not even recognized. And human rights focus on a lot of other areas besides just civil rights. And that's probably why Malcolm was saying it should be more of a human rights struggle. Because in your human rights, you have a right to a job. You have a right to an income. You have a right to dignity in the society. You have a right that you have rights that far outweigh even the Bill of Rights. And so that's why we should focus any new movement we have on human rights and on the new majority. That means African Americans, that means Asian Americans, that means Latino Americans, but it also means immigrants from every country. It also means the progressive whites. It also means Native Americans who are threatened by this pipeline running right through their water source. And so, again, the new majority has many reasons to step forward and be more united, and also to try and mitigate the damage in the White House with the white supremacy in the White House before the next election. However, it really is upon us to do our study. It was upon each of the new majority constituent groups to have a strategic consensus come from their community to end the internal divisions and the internal struggles and the internal fights so that we can focus on the big fight, the big progressive fight. And if that's possible, then let's do that. And if that's not possible, then African Americans, you're going to have to come up with a much more involved strategy, because any strategy that involves 30-40% of the people out in the street demonstrating, like all the well-meaning brothers and sisters in the Black Lives Matter and Ferguson, and who rejected all of the undemocratic human rights of our people, that's good. But in order for us to be effective, like we were in the 60s and early 70s, it's going to have to be a stronger coalition of us. And that coalition is going to have to go through a consensus process and come up with what each ethnic group or each group, constituent group within the new majority, what the interests are. What do you need? What is your problem? What do you need to progress? And how can we all bring up the level of human rights for everybody in the country instead of just for Trump and his supporters? Because we all have human rights, and we all have a right to live, and we all have needs that are going unmet. and we all need to try and come together to see what we could do to help make those rates happen. And of course, we know we have the 1% here in income equality, and that piece is also in part 2. Income inequality. There's a need for equal opportunity, upward mobility throughout this society. This stalled economy is bad for you and for me. We are preparing for upward mobility. Our obstacle is racism in society. We face declining opportunities. Bush and friends outsourced many. And of our jobs away yesterday, and the economy is stalled today. As the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Income inequality, 1% reality, redlining and declining. When we must better could be done, when much better could be done with progress for everyone. Stimulus for higher ups in the stock market through 2014. The 1% get everything. Stimulus for the people, my friend, in the year 2010. Stimulus for the people ended, my friend, in the year 2010. Too few haves, too many have-nots. The rich don't care, and poverty sucks. Inequality and unemployment, increasing the promotion of hate in this declining state. What will we do, me and you? This is what oppresses us through and through. Income inequality, widespread poverty. Income inequality, the shame of this society. So, I'm trying to see how, if there were to be a question, I could take it. This is my first time doing it live. I plan to be back soon because I'm going to have some of my homies on here with me, and we're going to talk about growing up in Lakeview, journey to the motherland, and which also covers part of my childhood. So that's probably going to be coming up, and so I'm looking for any type of communication I can get from you because it comes up on the screen. I'd like to say to my friend Izozo Easy down in LA, hey, what's up? Good to see her. And to my cousin, Latanya Smith, thank you for being there. Okay, and to all the others who are there. So, again, we've been talking about these books that I have written. And I just want to let you know I am a spoken word artist. And so my books all have spoken word, particularly Loving Black Women, as well as History to Destiny through Afrocentric poetry. In a few minutes, I'm going to get some of those pieces and share those with you too. But primarily right now, I want to share the pieces that are in my newest release, American Challenges in the Obama Era Part 2, in the hopes that you will go to Amazon.com, Kindle, look at my author's page, just put my name, Larry Ukali Johnson, read in the box. Once you do that, you'll see all of my books laid out there for you. And you can look at any of my 6 books. You can look at the first 10 or 12 pages absolutely free. And it's my hope that once you look at my books, you will decide to at least purchase 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and become a reader of my books. Now, this is something that I've been working on for 30 years, but of course, a lot of times a brother don't get the recognition from the society, so I've been a quiet warrior. I've been up and down and around the country. I see what my people are suffering and this, lack of fairness in this country that still bedevils our progress. But I know that there are many more things that we can do to help ourselves than we're doing. And so that's why American Challenges in the Obama Era is a challenge for every nationality, every African American, every white person even. There's a challenge for you in the book called American Challenges in the Obama Era. And one of the worst challenges America really showed us behind on is when they did have a black president, You had Donald Trump leading the birthers and doubting that the brother was a citizen. Oh, that was really funky, you know. So there was a lot of funkiness in the way Obama was treated by white society. And that was the challenge for white society, was to treat Obama like a real president. And of course, they got F grades on that, or most of them, and many got D's. They didn't get C's in my book in the way Obama was treated. But I want to continue giving you some of the spoken word pieces in American Challenges in the Obama era. And so this one is called Black Love's Spoken Word 2. I'm a poet from the 60s. I can flow it from the 70s and 80s. From the 90s times to the present. You should listen, and your time is well spent. We were closer to freedom in the 60s. Many of us treated each other better, like sisters and brothers, stood together and fought for our rights. We had many issues to fight, from the KKK and whites on the right. And now we're beefing among ourselves. How are we going to get along so we can get strong? They look at how we disrespect and kill each other and wonder if we are sister and brother. How are we going to get along with anyone else when we can't get along with and among ourselves? Consider this, sisters and brothers. If we can't get along with each other, how will we get along with all the others? Try to be right by each other, then things will get much better. Get our voting rights back from voter suppression others. Could we join progressive others of every other race when the way we treat each other is a total disgrace? How can we enjoy rap if it's all about threatening each other? Couldn't we rap about treating each other like sister and brother? This is to celebrate the past times. This is the present in my rhymes. It should blow your mind how we killing our own kind. How can we advance beefing, the conservative voters suppressing others, if we cannot do right by each other? This is the real time. Walk this walk. This is the real talk. Talk this talk. Aren't we weary of a war against ourselves? Burying our young people is hell. Sons and daughters in the cell. Time we're better to each other and treat each other like sister and brother, because we are stronger together. This is Black Love Spoken Word 2. And again, this is part of the themes and focus in the Obama era. It is not a blow-by-blow, but it is a general summation of the Obama administration. CYA Goo, I see you out there. How you doing, my friend? I've known you a long time, brother. Look forward to seeing you. Okay, so now we got this other one here called Make It Good, because you see, we don't have the power to control everything in the world, but we can control how we treat each other. And that's what this is called, Make It Good in the neighborhood. Make it good in the hood. Have pride in our neighborhood. Show self-esteem for our sister queen. Why shoot a sister? Why be so mean? It is our responsibility to treat each other right. In the hood, keep it tight. In the liberation fight, we cannot win unless we treat each other right within. Stand up, please, as a people off your knees. We got to make it good for our people in the hood. Don't shoot a brother. Don't shoot another. Make it good in our hood. You should know. We really should. You know you could make it good if you would in the hood. Start a truce. Cease all fire. Black on black peace is our people's desire. Cause he wears blue or he wears red. Excuse me. Don't shoot your brother's head cause he wears blue or he wears red. Put our sights on fighting for our rights. Economically, you know, we hang like kites. Our hood needs economic development. You and I need more help from each other and the government. Okay? So, yeah, there you get your general theme of the challenges laid out in the American challenges in the Obama era, both in terms of spoken word and in terms of the commentary and text. I wish there were a way to interface with you, and I'll be working on that. But, if you do know my phone number and you want to give me a call, well, 925-529-7660. We probably couldn't work that out, but maybe after we go off air, you could call. But anyway, my name again is Larry Ukali Johnson Red. Larry Ukali Johnson Red. My email is ljred52. I'd like to shout out to Serendipity, a black African-American literary agency in New York that's currently looking at publishing both my books, American Challenges in the Obama Era Parts 1 and 2. I would like to also throw a shout out to all of my Facebook friends and all the fine sisters on Facebook. And Brother Curtis, who spotlights all them fine sisters on Facebook. So I'm getting ready to sign off. I just want to give you another little piece of information. I do have an author's page with videos and, reviews, many reviews at Amazon.com. Each of my books has interviews except American Challenges in the Obama Era Part 2. And if you would like to review American Challenges in the Obama Era Part 2, then send me an email or hit me on Facebook under Ukali the African, and I will find a way to get a copy to you, one way or another. But I do have reviews for all of my other books, and so I'm asking for the progressive support. I'm asking for African-American support, because a brother can write literary agents all day, but there are very few literary agents ready to face the publishers for an African-American authored book. This is something I faced for the 30 years, and that's why I'm asking for your support for my 6 ebooks, American Challenges in the Obama Era Parts 1 and 2, as well as Long Distance Love, about my second trip to Nigeria and the fiasco of an engagement to a Nigerian woman. My other books include, but are not limited to, History to Destiny through Afrocentric Poetry. That's 304 pages of poetry about the 500 years of colonialism that we as African Americans and as Africans have faced in the world. As well, I have another book called Loving Black Women, which I really do. And you will see in subsequent appearances, I'll definitely bring you some of the flavor from Loving Black Women. Meanwhile, you could go and check out some of my 30-something video clips on YouTube. Okay, so I'm wrapping up here now. Please go to YouTube and look at my video clips. I have 30. Please buy my books. Again, they range from $2.99 to $4.49, very reasonably priced. They download in 60 seconds at Amazon.com Kindle. And I would love to hear from you and open up correspondence with you by hitting me on my Facebook page under Ukali the African or Twitter, Ukali the African. And so we're coming toward the close. And so I'd like to say salutes to all my people across the country. Keep your head up. We're in a very difficult situation. We're still facing all this racial discrimination in hiring. We're still facing many different trials and tribulations in America. Our human rights are under assault, and our communities are in somewhat of a disarray. And what we could do is bring the love to each other as a people. And in that way, we will become stronger immediately. And we can empower ourselves out of this unempowered situation that we're in by focusing on developing a strategic national black consensus as a charter, not just to get us out of oppression, but to get us into development. Because with the South African charter, it charted the way out of apartheid, but it didn't chart the way out of the post-apartheid period. And that's why South Africa now has its issues because of its black unemployment problem, just like we as African Americans face the minimization of our unemployment problem. And we need to get a hold of that, and we need to put all our hands together, and we need to come together, different factions and groups and nations, because there are many nations of African Americans, many groups of African Americans, many types of Panthers, many types of Muslims, many types of brothers and sisters. So we got to fashion something that will make our diversity our strength, and then we can get on with our ancestors' wishes that we push ourselves to unite and move toward full liberation as a people, so that we can be empowered instead of unempowered. I thank you for listening to me. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.